What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of nftwins. Today, we're talking about why does everyone want the same thing or same person? What are we talking about? We're talking about social proof. How does it impact you in your everyday life and maybe aspects you didn't expect?
And love and business, baby.
Hell yeah, my boy. These are the things that people didn't expect, man.
Definitely
Just
not an
fucking
expert in the
spoilers,
love
man.
part.
Spoilers. Come on, man. Fucking wait. Come on, let's start with business and then we get into the love
I
aspect of
mean,
it.
let's start where we know a little bit and then we're know less and less. But here we go. All right, Mark, what is social proof?
Okay, social proof is basically a tendency to rely on other people's judgment on making a decision faster. So think about it this way. So for example, you've probably been in this situation where you walk around your city and then all of a sudden you see a massive line in front of a restaurant. First thought is, damn, they must know something that I don't. Why is this restaurant has to be good. This has to be great. The same thing is like you go into a restaurant and there's no one in the restaurant, but you're like, "What the fuck is no one in this restaurant?"
I mean, for me personally, it's more on Amazon, right? Because to be honest, restaurants, I'm not going to a lot of restaurants. And normally before I'll go on like to see the reviews. So I see already, I think the social proof is more on the ratings there. But for example, on Amazon, I don't buy a product where I don't see any reviews. Apart if it's like very basic toilet paper or whatever. But if it's something anything else, I always look at the amount of reviews. So it's like cannot be faked and then like the average. And then I look at the bad reviews and like 1, 2 stars and be like, oh no, this product was too good for me. That's why it's 1 star or whatever. So like these, I think that's really, really important. And it comes back to yes, it makes it easier because other people already tried it out.
So, Lucas, where does this actually come from? So this actually has evolutionary roots. So basically, back in the day, let's say thousands of years ago, if everyone ran away from a bush that was rustling, there was a noise in there. If you're not running away from a bush, you're getting fucking eaten by a mountain lion. This is what happens, man. If you're like, oh, I wonder what's that noise in there. Oh, might have been too late. Man, better run than be fucking better safe than sorry. So this is the same thing. It's basically the same concept. Still works nowadays, and there actually are different types of social proof,
All right.
Lucas.
I think there are in total 8 types of social proof. So one of them, as I mentioned, is like reviews. So testimonials is very important. Then we got experts. So everybody know 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this
Who are
tooth
these
cream.
fucking dentists,
I've
bro?
never met 9 of them like who actually recommended that toothpaste. But like that's also social proof, right? So it's actually a mix of testimonials as well as experts because you have the testimonials, oh, like all recommending it.
I think that's becoming less and less, depending on the area. I think it's becoming less common. I haven't seen I mean, no, we don't watch TV, but still, I've seen more on Instagram and social media. I've been
But it's the
seeing
same
more.
expert.
Yeah, but I see more like for example, High Smile or something like the toothpaste that's with the purple. They usually, in terms of they're focusing more on general proof of customer reviews versus experts. Yeah,
Okay.
they appear, that's true. They mix a little bit because they seem like, "Oh, we're the experts." So a little bit
Yes.
of joke. They're not saying, "I'm the doctor." They just
No, no,
make a
no.
difference.
But they have a mix, right? Because in the end, it's more about everyday users recommending it, or like, oh, look, I'm using this now, the purple and the yellow, and now it turns to be white.
So
Of
it's
course, all
user
scam.
social proof. That's okay.
Exactly. It's just like the crowd, right? User testimonials.
Yeah, but it's called user social proof.
Yeah.
Then, Lucas, another thing is celebrities. We see this more and more more common. So celebrity social proof. For example, there was this a few weeks ago. There was this, I guess, this figurine or like a I don't know, like a toy that one celebrity had. It was just like this puppet, and everyone wanted to buy it afterwards. So this company went from basically very small to massive.
I didn't
Like,
know.
yeah, it was fucking insane. It was just like a weird, like it looked like a puppet that, like voodoo puppet almost, kind of weird, but crazy, kind of cool. Like blew
All right.
up.
Look for it while I explain the next one. Right. The next one is scarcity and exclusivity. So, for example, with scarcity, I mean, you've seen it.
Scarcity, yeah.
Scarcity. Have you ever like trying to book a flight? Man, it's like only 2 seats left or only 2 items left, and you're like, why is it always 2 items? So they're making it like scarce. So they say, oh my god, I have to buy it now. That also puts pressure on you to actually you have to buy or you should be buying it because otherwise, if they're still says, oh, we still have 1,000 tickets, you're like, like, for example, to a concert or whatever. I was like, why do you want to go? Why do you still have so many tickets? I got all the time in the world to buy it and then later forget it. But if it's only two left, man, you better like buy it now. So I think that's one of the other things. Another thing is like wisdom of the crowd. Actually, is it actually wisdom? As I got an accident, right? If if you're on a highway and there's an accident on the other side of the road, so like on the other like in the other direction, there will be traffic jam on your side because people slow down to watch what happens there. It's just like if other people watch, you will start watching as well. And I think that's like it's a double-edged sword, right? Because at the one side, you're like, all right, I want to see, but at the other side, like, does it really matter? Like, it's like interesting how it's even not in your own lane causes a problem. Mark, did you find it?
Okay, so these are called la bubu. La bubu. Okay, which
Share the
is a
screen, Mark.
oh, wait. They basically look like rabbits
La Bubu. La
and
Bubu.
wait, I'm sharing my screen. One second.
The La Bubu.
La bubu. La poo. Oui, oui. Here, look.
Ah,
Like these, they grew up and like all of a sudden last year they just blew up. And I look, you see these numbers, man.
increased by what? 726%?
26%. That is
But they were
what?
already big, to be honest. I mean, think about it. They grew by 7x to 1.8 billion divided by 7. We don't do public math, but it's like what 200 million to
Yeah,
300
but it is
million,
crazy though how much it blew up
2.250.
though, and because it was just now they're becoming very popular in the Western countries. Before it
Oh,
was just like in Asia. Anyways, so that is super cool. There was celebrity proof, just one example. I mean, there's so many other things. So yeah.
stop sharing the screen. All right, perfect. All right, what are the next ones? So we explained the scarcity.
Okay,
Um,
then there's another one of wisdom of friends, right? Wisdom of friends and peers. So basically, your friend recommended to you. It's always great. People use it. Like, hey, if Lucas, I was looking for a keyboard, I'm like, look, this keyboard is great. I liked it. Lucas, for example, is thinking about buying a keyboard now because a friend recommended it to him. So he's like, all right, I'm going to do this. Then certifications.
But that brings me to another point with the keyboard. I want to buy a keyboard, but the thing is, I mostly buy anything on Amazon just because it's like so easy, like return policies, and because
Oh
they
yeah.
don't have in Spain US keyboards. So I'm like, and like my keyboard is barely working. Well, it's like has some keys that like you have to like press it 3 times. So like H sometimes doesn't work in other
And the
keyboard.
question mark doesn't work either. So there's a lot of things that don't work on this keyboard properly. All right. Now that we talked, well, I think there's certifications also. Like for example, FDA approved for drugs, or I don't know, TÜV did something, or whatever it is, TripAdvisor certificate of excellence, or whatever it is. It also always gives something.
Yes, but at the same time, there's so many. When if I look at any like bottles or whatever, and they're saying like 10
Yeah,
different
but this is you,
things.
but you're not the average consumer.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
it is
but
in
for
most
me,
of
it's
them.
just like I look at it and I'm like, I get confused. There's so many. I'm just like, I know maybe one.
Yeah, but if you know that one, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's the point, right? It's like, oh, okay, this says bio on it, right? You know, what does it even mean?
That reminds me, I saw a reel the other day on a guy who failed, like, I don't know, for like many years startups. And then he made hundreds of millions with e-cigarettes, like just like
Oh yeah.
the vapes. And you know how he called his company?
Oh yeah, you told me this already.
Trusted Brand. So
Yeah.
basically, he called his brand Trusted Brand. So it was like e-cigarette trusted brand, and then people believed it's trusted brand, and it's actually not against the law because like the company is called like this, and then people bought it because yeah, it is a trusted brand, even though it doesn't say anything. The brand name is like this, but you just read it and you're directly associated with it, which is crazy. Just the name of itself already impacting
Well,
it.
most people don't go a level deeper. They're like, oh, okay, press your brand. Seems
Yeah,
legit. Again, certificate, right?
yeah.
Proof. There we go. All right, Lucas. I want to talk a little bit about the science now of this stuff. So first, I want to talk about the conformity experiment. So this one was done by Solomon Ash in 1951. So what was this the setup? So basically, they were participant that had to okay, they were like participants and people that were in on it, and they had to say how long is a match, like a match,
Yeah.
and they were clearly different in length, but there was a group setting, and they were like most of them, there were actors, paid actors, that would say, "The one that is clearly shorter. No, this one is longer." And it actually influenced the people that was like they knew exactly this is not gonna be right. It's like, "Oh, yeah," to agree with the crowd, just because they didn't wanna be the odd one out. So a third of the people were actually influenced by this, which is kind of wild to think about
Third.
this. Yeah, like the group pressure can override your own senses at some point. So they're like, "Yeah, no, no, the short one is actually the long one," and people are like, "Maybe I'm wrong," and they went with it. So this one was the conformity experiment, which is kinda cool. Then, next one, I wanna talk about the street gaze. I'm sure we've all seen this. We've noticed this. I mean, we're obviously weren't there for the experiment, which was in 1969. We were
Oh, a good
still
year.
we're
I
still
mean,
in
69 is a good year.
mid year, but we're still on our balls of our dad. I'm telling you right now.
Not even, bro.
Not yet, of course.
Nah, I mean, the sperm cycles.
Yeah, fuck it. What does it matter? Doesn't matter. Whatever, whatever. Okay, so the setup was basically people were standing on the sidewalk, and they were just looking up. And the more people that looked up, like they were paid actors, the more people would stand there and look up. And then obviously more people looked, the more looked up. And we've noticed is obviously you've seen this in somewhere in Barcelona or wherever you live. It's like people stare at something and there's more than two or three people looking at something. You look up. You go, fuck.
It's the same with the crowds, right? For example, in Basel, there are a lot of street artists. So what they normally try to be like build a crowd around them, and then more and more people pile around it. It's the same thing. Like I'm sure also assume that they have a few people in there who will give money for them, and then because a few people give them money, more will also hand in. It's like, oh yeah, the other one next to me gave money as well. It's the same with like who told us that? The basically in New York, where the gambling, like the street, where they're basically hustling with the
Oh yeah, Tim. Yeah.
basically they're hustling away for money. Like when what is it called the game with the cups or whatever, where it's like, where's the ball? And
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
set like a lot of them, a lot of people of them
I
are
don't know.
in with them, and they're like, okay, let's do 50-50. And of course they were in, they lost, and then one, it's like crazy. So like trying to rip off people, and it's like because you are thinking like, okay, maybe one is working with them, but all of them around you are working with the
Yeah,
scam
it's
artist.
bigger. If it's usually it's easier than it is, but yeah. It's like you think they can't be on it, but they are.
Yeah.
It's like that. All right, the next one I want to talk about is the elevator experiment. And who hasn't been in that case? You know those elevators that have two exits, basically it look the same, so you're like don't know which one to face. It's
Yeah,
the same with the
because
metro. Same with the metro. You don't know if it's on the left or on the right sometimes because sometimes you have to get in on the right and you get out on the left.
yeah, it depends on the exit.
Yeah, no,
Barcelona normally tends to be on the same exit.
yeah, but I'm saying it's the same.
Trains might be different,
So
but
sometimes you don't know where you're heading out. And same with the elevator. So the experiment 1962. If everyone facing the wrong way, people also assume that this is the way to the exit. Just kind of like same like proof of like this is the same, right? It's really really interesting. The next thing I want to talk about is what I listened to also on a podcast, and my wisdom was super interesting. It's called the mate choice copying in animals and humans. Lucas, do you know what that is?
no, I mean, let me guess. I'm assuming it has something to do. People, if somebody, let's say he's less attractive without a girl or another gender next to him, but then if there is, the other females will be like jealous of it, and then like, oh, what's wrong? Why shouldn't I chase him too?
So it's not about being jealous or something. It's just like a proof. It's like the same social
Social
proof.
proof, yeah.
It's about social proof, not being jealous. And it is mate choice. Yeah, choosing your mate, obviously. So basically, you're copying. If something is already proven, like for example, he's being a good dad. This has been proven in rats, humans, guppies, which are just like big goldfish, basically. That someone was already a successful mate, even with vermin, like with the rats, was kind of interesting. The rats would actually do it with the sense of smell, so the olfactory sense. They would smell that a mate just had sex with another rat, and then they're like, "Oh, he was successful already, so I'm gonna fuck him too." So I'm gonna have it. So that's what's super interesting. It works as well. And with women, in both humans, and this is for females for right now, they've also shown this with some males that this exists, but women they're seen as someone is the same thing. You're in a relationship, the women like, oh, all of a sudden he's three times more
Man,
attractive,
let me tell you, single life is hard, boys.
especially when you're bold and ugly. But just okay. That's okay, Lucas. It's okay. We're here for you.
Maybe I should start, putting, like, my Bumble, Tinder profile all with, like
Open relationship.
with with a lot of girls so I get social proof. Maybe that
Exactly. I mean,
helps.
it's the same thing. Well, I mean, this is something we're going to talk about it later, also with the love experiment stuff there. But so this is what it works with the mate copying mechanism. It's super interesting, I find at least. Okay, Lucas, what is a social proof in daily life? Let's give it a quick summary. Where have you seen it?
I mean, you just mentioned already when you have a girlfriend and then, like, other girls were like, "Oh, man." It's like, and when you're single, girls don't wanna talk to you. You're in a relationship, you got a queue, maybe 1 or 2 girls. I mean, don't wanna overdo it here.
Not
Um
me. Mine is zero. That's okay. I don't need
There's
it.
listening.
I got mine.
Alright, Mark, tell me.
All right. So, well, we already mentioned restaurants, right? Same principle.
Didn't you say
All,
dating though?
no, we said everyday life, my bro. You gotta listen, my boy. We said restaurants, online reviews, shopping, and nightlife. All right. Now we talk about dating.
Mm.
That's what you want to talk about. All right. Go ahead, Lucas.
I mean, you already said that,
Okay. All right. So we talk about
but but I can drop into some things. So, for example, yes, you can have a girlfriend, whatever, but also think about wingman, wingwoman, right? For example, you go in a bar, like, why does the concept even work, right? Of wingman, wingwoman, especially from a different gender. Because, like, first of all, if you would be approaching another group and then you're going with a girl, first of all, the other girls will might think this is your girlfriend, etc. So they're like, huh. But in the end, it's just a friend of yours, and then it already gives social proofs to you. So it's like, oh, that woman is kind of attracted or is hanging out with that person. Why shouldn't I as well? That might be a point. Or in general, in it's something called the cheerleader effect. Who hasn't seen that, right? For example, with a bunch of girls, so if you look at them, there's which movie was it? So basically, they were looking at like 5 or 6 women, like, oh, in a group, they're all good looking, and then you isolate them. and then- and then-
they weren't that attractive anymore. Yeah.
exactly. I
But
think
it's just well, it's but I think that's different. That's not
it's a different thing.
that's a different thing. What you're talking about is what we were talking about before was that you basically the proof of concept or the proof is that you already are with attractive people around you. So that means you have to have value, especially as a man.
I'm
And that
sure there
works.
is I'm sure there's an effect like the cheerleader effect. Look it up. I'm sure the cheerleader effect
You look it up.
exists.
You look it up. I'm gonna talk about the rest. Okay. So basically, it shows again, like having great reviews. It's same with on Instagram. If you have more followers, people like your stuff. If you have a lot of pictures with other people or in happy situations, it obviously this is gonna portray you as a person who is happy. It's gonna have success in the social life because we are social animals. So social hierarchy is really, really important. And if you are the focus of these kind of images, etc., this will give you a boost in mating, unfortunately, but this is how it works. Lucas, what do you got? What do you found?
All right. So the cheerleader effect has is based on 3 things. One's one out of the averaging effect. So when you look at the group, your brain creates an average face by blending features, and since the average face is perceived more attractive because of symmetry and familiarity, so that makes it more attractive to face. Then visual attention bias. We focus on the most attractive members of the group, and our brains fill in the gaps for others. The group gets a kind of a halo effect because of that. And the
Nice.
last one, the contrast effect. Less attractive members can make the more attractive ones stand out more by comparison, boosting their perceived attractiveness. So if
Yeah,
one
but
member,
they're kind of contrary, no? There's like
how it
some
affects,
like
yeah,
because some of them they blend together, and the other one's just like, okay, you're uglier now. This one is much prettier. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, one is like you're all now sevens because the seven face is copied on all of them. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyways, there's also the same concept again applies here: scarcity, competition, FOMO, fear of missing out. If everyone wants them, they must be valuable. These kind of concepts, right? It's like why celebrities like, oh my god, I don't know. There's some celebrities like people like, oh, he's so good looking or she's so good looking. In reality, man, there's like people that work at Pizza Hut and they're better looking. But it's just like because everyone is like saying that people are like, oh, this must be valuable. But it's not about the good looks in that situation. Because I'm like, look, there's some Hollywood movie stars, they're not that good looking. And people are like, oh my God, so hot.
but that's what I was saying. Like, I'm sure on the streets of Barcelona, they walk. way more attractive people around than like they see in Hollywood. But again,
But again, this is how the concept works, and this is how it impacts us. All right,
look, I have a interesting, by the way, to cheerleader effect in business and social context. Team branding. Startups often show up in group shots on websites because the collective image can elevate individual team members' perceived competence and attractiveness. And in influencer marketing, being seen with attractive public groups, social proof again, boosts your credibility and appeal.
nice. Okay, Lucas, let's talk about manipulation and backfires. When does it actually not work? Look, on social media, this is clear. When you have bots, everybody knows that you have an Indian bot farm, and like you check on their profile, and all of a sudden there's likes, and there's not even engagement on there. It's
Again,
weird.
but my question is though, how often do people actually check it though? Because there's things like
But it
how many
just
layers you go down. Because most people like,
the point is if it comes out. That's the
oh
point.
yeah,
Point is that when it comes out, 100%. No, that's why it works for most cases. But when it backfires and manipulation is noticed, like for example, the influencers, I'm so rich, look at my private jet, and when it turns out, this is just a staged photo. It's just like they rented, I don't know, a
I
place
mean
where they
there,
can pictures.
yeah.
So that's why it works, right? Dating bubbles. One person becomes the prize and red flags are missed. Like if you're dating someone because he's the prize, but then he's actually a narcissist, whatever, it's not good for you. You're just missing it because everyone else wants him, right? Same with women. Like if you want her. So we just ignore our own judgment if everyone else seems convinced.
All right, then how can social proof blind us to red flags?
So basically, everyone says that let's say with dating, he or she is a great person. Like, oh my god, or like, oh, you guys are
I
such a
would say
great
different.
couple together.
I have a different point
Okay.
because normally you don't know that person. Like, for example, on you don't have common friends. Like, if you go on social media, on Tinder, etc., you don't have common connections who can say she's a great person. So you know her more than your friends when you meet her and introduce her to your friends. But my point is more, if you look on Instagram, right? You see, oh, they has 50,000 followers or whatever. She must be attractive or whatever. Even though it doesn't need to be, and especially red flags. I mean, not all of them, but if they have a lot of followers
But
and
I
that
don't know.
takes,
But I don't know how that.
wait, I'm coming to the red flags. Because, okay, social proof. So, social proof says, for example, somebody has a lot of followers, she must be very attractive, etc. And then at the same time, the red flag might be she takes only selfies. Like
Uh,
I really need her. Like, I want to date her, whatever. She is like super hot.
but when was the last time you gave a fuck about followers?
I think not me, but in general, I think that because we're talking about how it can influence people, right? Because that's the thing. It's the same as like, when was the last time you?
But I'm saying like I was going on a deeper level, not just social media, like red flags in person to person and impact, right? Person to person like thing, like for example, in real life, not on
But
social
my
media.
my point was also that because then if they only take selfies, the red flag is
Yeah, it's a red
that
flag, of
that
course. It's
my
the
point is that then they might be like very narcissistic, right? So that is on the personal level that it's very hard probably later to connect with them.
okay, but please explain then why the one thing impacts the other. How do you oversee the red flags? How,
Because you put it on a pedestal because she has so many followers, so a lot of people think she's attractive. So if I get with her or can meet her or whatever, then I am winning the game, and then you're
because it
ignoring all the other
increases
stuff.
your value as well in the
Yeah,
market.
because exactly, you can say, "Oh, I've been dating a girl who has, I don't know, 2 million followers, whatever." Even though she has so many red flags, I mean,
Well, not
nobody
the
should
right
enter the
person for you because
sea.
a red flag is just for you, maybe, right? It's personal.
Yes, of course,
That's what I'm
everything's
saying.
personal.
All right, Lucas, we're a business podcast. Tell us how social proof can actually help us. What's a life hack? What can we use? What are the
I mean,
classic things?
reviews, obviously,
Okay,
it's the most important part.
testimonials, reviews.
Also, especially when you talk, for example, from our experience from raising funds, if you want to talk to companies that got invested in, if you want to talk to VCs, talk to startups they invested in, because they can tell you the good and the bad part. Because technically, they don't benefit at all from recommending you to the VC or in general talking about VC. Yes, they can, if you're a founder, right? If you're a founder, because they're like, they can tell you, hey, I man, they were only giving you money, or they were hands on, they were hands off, so they can give their your own review. But in the end, it's important to talk to multiple, so you see different angles.
Okay. All right. So basically, let's go through all of them that I would go. Look, if you're our brick and mortar store, have long lines outside, clubs, everything, everyone knows this kind of trick. Then get reviews. Google reviews are really important. Doesn't matter what kind of
Do you
business
do
you're
that
in.
in a club?
No, but I'm saying it depends on the business. So you do that. Then you have endorsements. So you have celebrity endorsements, or you have I don't know, anyone, any professional, an expert. Then you have a lot of get friends. So give Lucas's favorite thing, referrals. This
Most
guy fucking
attractive thing.
loves
I'm
referrals.
telling you, been telling this for like now eighth year coming right now. Was it
He's
eighth?
yeah, if you know, we're in the
Eighth
eighth
year
year.
coming now. And man,
Yeah.
how did Alex Hormozy always says, this the one style doesn't work till that one that does. And I'm like, that's the same. All the referral
Lucas been
system
saying
don't work till that one
marketing doesn't
works.
work. Let's do referrals. Anyways, in theory that works, but depends on you need to have people that have a good product for that. You need to have a good product for that.
That's
Otherwise, it
not
doesn't
on
work.
me.
All right, we got that one. So these are things that are super important. I think referrals and all that stuff can be really good. If you have a great product and someone refers you, this is a set deal. Usually, it's a done deal. Lucas, you got any fun anecdotes for me to finish up? Anything funny or something? Din, 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 din.
Mm, not really.
No weird trend that you ever followed or something?
No.
No, I can think about something. So
Tell
we
me.
were young, we were like 16, and we were skaters, and our friends were in that emo stage, and and we were like, I think it's a good idea for we did carnival in Germany, and I was like, what, just as a joke, I'm gonna I'm gonna change my hair color to black as a joke because I wanted to be always in emo. Damn
But
motherfucker, I had green
all
hair.
right, guys, background. Look, we're bald right now, but
We
back
had
in the
long
day,
hair.
we
Skaters, skater
not much,
boys.
but long hair.
And another funniest thing was also Lucas. Lucas went to the hairdresser, and I don't know how he came up with this idea, but he came back.
It was supposed to be blonde, like very blonde, as
It
well as
was
like
so
red in
funny.
the back. But man, it turned out purple. Was the best? No,
Pink, pink.
pink
The
was
guy
the
came
best
in
choice.
pink.
But that's not even what I was referring to with like
That
uh
was kind of
the crowd or whatever. Because
no, you were convinced by someone, and that was probably the hairdresser. I was like, it's gonna look good. Who has never been at the hairdresser and tell you, you should get that haircut that
but that's
way.
not weird trends, right? That's influence
No, no,
other
no, but I'm
people.
saying like an anecdote, funny anecdote. It's just like you got some of them someone convinced you to do something that you knew deep
I
down this is
mean,
a bad idea.
that's the same with like the other day when we went to Wings, right? And like before, you already said like, don't get the fucking parmesan. And then like Felix asked, "What wings should I get?" And the lady says, "The parmesan." And it was like, "Bro, if you get in that, I'm not eating shit. That probably tastes like shit. Max, it tastes horrible."
That was
And
bad.
Felix is like, "No, we're getting these." And they're pretty shit.
And then another like another funny anecdote. So social proof, right? It's all about social proof. Like it's like if you go to the gym and everyone tells you this is the fucking best sheet ever, and what is it? It's fucking horrible. You try it and you're like, what the fuck was this shit? How
But
did
I don't know, gym machines. I don't even understand like how the people who like build these machines have to ever tried and sit on these machines. We have like a hamstring machine standing up, and it like after the first 45-degree angle, like it just you throw up the weight. It's like it loses half of the. Doesn't make sense. Like some of these machines, but yeah, the designers. But it's a different topic.
All right, I think that's it, Lucas. Let's finish up with our hair story, and that's about it. When we used to have hair, this was the style we went with. But like, fuck yeah, convince us.
I think it looks better now. To be honest, it's easier to take care of as well.
Told you this, bro.
Me, myself, and I, so 3 people, so I got the
In
social proof
which
going.
industry expert told you this?
So it's a
It's like
crowd, 3
the bald
people.
it's like that bald, hairdresser. "I'll lead you to the treasure I cannot possess." Alright, everyone. I'll talk to you in the next one.
Peace.
Uh.